Live from the Score Atlanta television studios in North Atlanta, this is Georgia High School Sports Daily, powered by IBEW Local 613.
All right, IJ Rosenberg, Georgia High School Sports Daily. It is Tuesday, a lot going on here. We'll talk about in a second. Of course, you can watch us every day, Monday through Friday. Najee Wilkins, Craig Sager, myself, up at the Score Atlanta brand new studios here. In fact, we're actually already, guys, going into our improvements in the studio. We're going to be doing some pretty big improvements to get to 4K and do some different things over the next couple of weeks. And we'll start using our green screen as well as the screen behind us. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing. Now, the breaking news story, we go to Fast Break Headlines every day to start with. And Najee and Craig, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but the Georgia High School Association has made a decision, okay, to add 1 week to the football regular season, meaning the playoffs now will start November 15th through 16th. This is also good news for us here. This allows us to do an extra game. It does not change the state championships. It does, however, eliminate what was going to be an off week, which I hope they go back to next year because I think that's a good thing. I think giving the state championships a few extra days like they were going to do, Najee, makes a lot of sense.
I think it does, and a lot of the teams who are dealing with nagging injuries, you can kind of get healthy, and then both teams get kind of that important rest, and then you're good to go for that important week and can hopefully decide your fate and go into the state championship.
Well, and I think this is good because, now with the new rules and the power rankings at the lower classifications, these teams need to play. They want to make these games up. They want to make the gates up. And, of course, everything with Hurricane Helene, it's amazing. Augusta, there's just we were lucky in Atlanta that it turned east. Can you imagine
if
that thing would have rolled through Atlanta?
If we got 25, 30 inches here, we would be not having this show right now.
Well, and wind, we got a lot of rain.
Yes.
But we did not get the wind. And like you said, Craig, we got half of the rain but the things that are going on, it's just down in Florida and what's happened in North Carolina.
That's
insane. It's just terrible. And
Asheville.
Asheville, and we have some friends up there, and there's no communication. The cell towers aren't working. People can't get in touch with their kids or their loved ones and stuff like that. It's really sad. But I'm glad that GHSA under Tim Scott, and of course, Dr. Robin Hines before him, who's still an advisor to the GHSA. I think this is a good decision. 50 games have been postponed?
Yeah, they said just 16 of the 170 games got played on their original scheduled time this last week. And so we were sitting here thinking, well, I don't remember a week like this. We've had weather, we've had postponements, but the forecast was so bizarre because even Wednesday, when they thought they'd be in the clear and they moved them up, some of those games got canceled. You had the games yesterday, you had the Grayson Newton situation. So I'm wondering if adding that extra week in case something happens during the season might be something the GHSA goes with for now on.
Yep, and the state championships are set for December 16th through 18th at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's not changing, okay? That stays the same. We're just taking out the week that was supposed to be basically an off week before the state championships, and they're adding that in. So the playoffs all will be pushed back a week and squeezed in to what they've typically been doing for years. This was the first year that they were going to do that, and I think it's a very, very smart move.
I think also credit to Tim Scott. This was his first big challenge as the director. I thought he handled it well. This came out fast. He said they're going to make a decision by Tuesday. It came out, and so credit to him.
And we have some recaps from last night, I guess. There were some games that were played last night.
Yeah, I can take this one over.
Okay.
So some football action. So Milton picked up another win. They stay undefeated. They beat Second-Year 44-7. They took a 17-7 lead at the half, 31-7, entering the fourth quarter in a blowout win against Second-Year Region 7 6-8 victory on the road. Alex Nover kicked the field goal to open scoring for Second-Year. They responded with an 80-yard touchdown from Jamin Williams with 9 minutes left in the second quarter to take the lead. Luke Niggle passed to Jordan Carrasquillo for a touchdown, giving Milton a 10-7 advantage. And the lead they would never relinquish. TJ Lesher scored on a 3-yard touchdown to expand the margin. The Eagles expanded the lead to 24-7 on a rushing touchdown with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. And then Nickel found C.J. Wiley to give the Eagles a 31-7 lead. Milton added a rushing touchdown with 9 minutes left in the game, capping a score on a run with 4 minutes left in the game. He had Coffee shutting out Northside Warner Robins, who's a pretty good team, 41-0. Coffee led 14-0 after the first quarter and 24-0 at half in a rob of Northside Warner Robins on the road. Contavious DeBruce scored on a 22-yard run, and Chris Reed returned a block punt, 74 yards for a touchdown. Tyrese Hansley scored on a 75-yard run, and Jonah Saylor kicked a 20-yard field goal for Coffee. And then the last one, Central Carrollton versus Jonesboro, 31-23 victory for them. Central Carrollton took a 7-0 lead after the first quarter. They led 21-9 at half in the Region 3 4-way victory over Jonesboro. The Lions extended the lead to 28-15, entering the fourth quarter and outlasted in the 8-3 fourth quarter. They want to secure the victory to move to 5-1 on the season.
Yeah, some big games on Monday. I love the way Coffee plays football, though. When we saw him in the state championship, they played man-to-man coverage on defense.
Yes.
They take away – if you don't have an exceptional top-tier quarterback and receivers, they're going to shut you down. So you mentioned Northside Warner Robins, a good team. That is a huge result right there. Creekside's also looking good, too. They had another shutout. They have not allowed a point since coming back from Georgia after their 2 out-of-state games. All right, let's go to headline number 3. Wesleyan center fielder Avery Tucker, she commits to Ole Miss. Wesleyan Junior, we've been talking about their softball team, one of the best. They've had big wins over Buford. They've been playing the upper echelon of Gwinnett County. She committed on Sunday to the Rebels. The center fielder who helped the Wolves to their past 2 state championships hit .484 last season, 32 RBIs, 34 runs scored, 6 doubles, 3 triples. She was a first-team All-County and All-Region selection.
All right, Greg, you had 4 as well.
Yeah, so this was a really big win. Whitfield Academy over Mount Perrin. Darlington knocked out Whitfield Academy out of the polls with a really close loss. I watched Darlington play against Pepperell, a very talented team. But this is a big game for Mount Perrin because their coach had just stepped down, Matt Eli. So they had an interim coach, but Whitfield Academy, this is probably their best win of the season. They were up 35-0 heading into the fourth. Cruised to the victory. It was delayed. It was played on Saturday. Cole Rabelias caught 4 passes for 62 yards. You had Landon Ryan, 166 yards and a touchdown, really balanced, and then a great defensive effort. So Whitfield's a team, their best win of the season. I think they have a chance of shaking up that Class A, 3A private division.
Certainly. And then at headline 5, you had Grayson and Shiloh postpone their games. They were supposed to play this week, but due to air quality after the Biolab fire in Conyers, they did not play on Monday. They got called off. Grayson was expected to face Newton in a big Region 4 6A matchup on Monday in Covington. Then the game was moved to Grayson because it was further away from the site that sent smoke clouds of chlorine and other chemicals into the air. The Grayson Athletic Department's X account then posted later in the day that Newton had notified us the football game is canceled tonight. Date of the game to be determined. Shiloh was also expected to host Chamblee on Monday, but the DeKalb County School District canceled all outdoor activities. The game is expected to be made up next Wednesday, October 9th. Per quote, it says, we're looking into that and working on that right now, trying to figure out what we can do to support our schools and give them some relief, Scott said. It's not just football. Don't forget we've got girls flag football, softball, volleyball, cross country, and cheerleading. We're looking at all of it. Postponing the football playoffs is a practical option this season because of unprecedented playoff bye week over Thanksgiving, which we just alluded to with IJ. So they officially postponed it, which helps teams like Grayson, Newton, Shiloh, and several others who in their quest for a playoff appearance.
All right, and we've got the Georgia High School Football Daily this morning, of course, our update with them. Their player of the week was MJ Dowdy of Winder Barrow. He ran for a school record 347 yards. Winder Barrow is 2-0 in region play for the first time since 2017. They can win their first region title in history. They have been playing since the 1950s. Though I will say this, in their region, Clark Central is still the favorite. Top performers include Keon Standifer, Tyler Render, and Rashawn Truell. Athens Academy's Standifer had 3 receptions for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also rushed for 26 yards, intercepted 2 passes, returned 1 for a touchdown over 50 yards, and returned a kickoff for 77 yards, guys, in a 47-27 victory over Oglethorpe County. Pretty good game for the kid. really good. Greenville running back Tyler Render rushed for 338 yards and 2 touchdowns, had 2 tackles and a sack, forced a fumble in a great game, 37-35 victory over Mount Zion of Carroll County. And then New Hempstead quarterback Rashawn Truell was listen to this, threw 68 passes. 68 passes.
The other quarterback threw 4, so they had 72 pass attempts.
And one guy threw 68.
Yeah, insane game.
That's a GHSA record, 635 yards and 6 touchdowns in a 80-47 loss to Perry. One kid, Kamari Maxwell, had 21 receptions for 302 yards and 3 touchdowns.
It took me
I bet
30
Alabama's
minutes to
in
do
his
that recap.
backyard. Really?
30 minutes just to write it down, a full page of notes.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. They ran, I think, 90 plays offensively in that game and still lost by 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, and it's just, crazy. They did 4 questions with Woodstock head coach Dan Devine, so you can also check out that. Our Hall of Fame feature today was a good one, Bill Mayo of Dalton High School. Mayo was the AJC's 1980 Class 3A Lineman of the Year, who would become a 4-year starter and consensus All-American at Tennessee. Dalton was 33-7 and played in the state final and semifinal in Mayo's 3 seasons on varsity. He was a 2-time first-team All-State player and voted the state's #1 college prospect as a 1980 senior in the Atlanta Constitution preseason survey of high school coaches, and played for a great coach up there, Bill Chappell, and just a tremendous player. And don't forget, let's go on and put that back up, Ashley, the Hall of Fame graphic. Like I said, Bill Mayo going in. That's coming up at the end on October 26th. Make sure to get your tickets. This is going to be a great event at the College Football Hall of Fame. We'll have fun with that. All right, trivia question. I think we missed this because it was so crazy yesterday. Monday's question, what 2 undefeated teams are the closest drive from each other? Lowndes and Valdosta, Collins Hill and North Gwinnett, Cambridge and Milton, North Cobb and North Cobb Christian, or North Oconee and Athens Academy. The answer is North Cobb and North Cobb Christian are exactly 1.6 miles apart. I wonder how they came up with that question.
That's a great question.
That's a good question. Tuesdays, today's question, we'll see if you guys can help out with this. MU's Kobe Wilson is the ACC's linebacker of the week after making 7 tackles and returning an interception, 82 yards for a touchdown in the Mustangs' 42-16 SMU, by the way, victory over Florida State. Poor Florida State guys. Good Lord. Talking about falling from grace. For which the 2019 Gwinnett County team did Wilson as a first-team All-State player in 7A help lead to a 12-2 finish in its first semi-final appearance in 15 years. Do you know who that is? Who Kobe Wilson played for?
Gosh, first semi-final appearance in 15 years. Ooh.
Just trying to remember 2019.
I'm going to guess Grayson.
Grayson?
Yeah, I'm going to just guess Grayson. I mean, I'm not sure if that's right or not.
I'll go Brookwood. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think Brookwood's a great pick.
I'll just go Brookwood for a guess.
So 68 passes, man.
Yeah.
Your arm's going to fall. 68. So you
crazy.
divide that by 4. God, that's crazy.
Definitely gonna be icing it, IJ.
They only ran the ball 11 times in that game.
All right, we're coming back. We're going to do the volleyball rankings. You are watching the Georgia High School Sports Daily.
This makes my dad proud. He went through his whole career as an employee. Now I'm the employer, something he didn't achieve.
We are signatory to IBEW and do IBEW people wherever we go that we feel like they are faster and better than any of our competition.
The advantages of being a signatory contractor is you're trained employees. You have unlimited manpower. It allows me to bid on jobs that I ordinarily would not go after.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JETC equips apprentices with the knowledge and skills required to start a rewarding career in the sheet metal industry with programs in HVAC, industrial welding, and testing, adjusting, and balancing. Training is 100% free and allows apprentices to earn as they learn. Journeymen graduate with no student debt and have the potential to earn more than most college graduates. Visit our website to learn more about this opportunity at careersinsheetmetal.com.
Man, you know how to do this? Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with the advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. Electrify your career.
All right, welcome back to the Georgia High School Sports Daily, brought to you or powered by IBEW 613. We'll do volleyball rankings in a second. Guys, y'all watch the Braves last night?
I didn't get
Yeah,
a chance
I'm
to.
gonna put this behind you.
Thank you.
I don't know if you watched the game, but I mean, it was flipping crazy. The first game they lost, they blew it twice. Then they didn't pitch Chris Sale in the second game, but they won anyway. So they had to get on a flight, fly to San Diego, and they play today at 5:30 San Diego time, so 8:30 our time.
Yeah, that first game was wild.
You know, one of the things I didn't realize, the change from the one-game playoff to not having that one-game playoff was making those wild card teams play all three games on the road. So the Braves play a 2 out of 3 series in San Diego. Yeah, they don't come back home. And if they win that series, which I think they will, especially if Sale pitches, they will go straight to LA and play. So it's interesting. So it's incredible. Braves back in the playoffs 7 straight years. I mean, every year I covered them, they were in the playoffs.
A lot of adversity this year, too.
Huh?
They battled a lot of adversity this year, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, well, I mean, they lost the Cy Young. They're going to win a Cy Young. Sale's going to win the Cy Young. They lost their MVP. They lost the Cy Young candidate, and then they, of course, lost their MVP, and they lost their third baseman. Exactly. So that's pretty good. But, you know, when you get in, if you've got 2 or 3 good pitchers, you always have a chance to play. So anyway, good for them. And, of course, we got the vice presidential debate tonight. Yeah. We're not a news show. We're not CNN or Fox, but we got to bring it up. I mean, these two yo-yos, it's going to be really interesting.
100th birthday today.
Huh?
I said Jimmy Carter's 100th birthday
Jimmy
today.
Carter, 100 years old.
And my grandfather's would be 100th
Would
birthday.
be 100
Yeah, they were born the same day.
Born the same day. Cool. Wow. That's incredible that Jimmy Carter's still living. I mean, 100 years old. Wow. That's incredible. All right, let's go to volleyball rankings. We like this part because we do more than football here. We, want to do all the sports. We'll have softball rankings tomorrow. I'll let Craig take this over. Is there a lot of changes? Let's go to 6A first. Was there much change in the 6A bracket?
Yeah, there's a lot of movement in Gwinnett, but I did push Walton up to number 2. North Forsyth had a tough pair of losses to Pope and Oconee County. Oconee County really shook up the poll this week. And then I moved West Forsyth up. You see a new team in there, North Gwinnett. I'm really impressed with them. And there's a big matchup tonight, Marietta against Cherokee. Cherokee's not ranked, but I think that's an interesting matchup. And then also in 6A, you saw North Gwinnett on there. They had a big win over Norcross. So Norcross, one of the hottest teams in the state. We mentioned Hebron beating Norcross for the Gwinnett County Championship. And then 3 days later, North Gwinnett comes and they upset Norcross. So I think they earned a spot. Harrison dropped out, but that is the teams that shook it up this week in 6A.
Let's go to 5A.
All right, in Class 5A, we mentioned Pope had the big win over North Forsyth, but their losses on the season, they have 3 in-state, 1 to Walton, 1 to River Ridge, and then 1 to Woodward Academy. Chambly, they've been hanging on to number 10 all season long, but they might have played their best match of the entire season against Woodward Academy. They came up just short in 3 sets, but if you look at the dominance of Woodward this season, Chambly actually played them closer than any other opponent has this season. So you have Milton still at number 3, Pope at number 4, Sequoia at 5. Jackson County's on a 9-game win streak, and then Woodstock, they had 4 straight losses, all tough matchups, so they dropped 1 spot to number 9.
Hey, Craig, if Milton was in 6A, which they should be, what would they be ranked in the top 5, you think?
I think definitely not the top 5. They have gone from a team that was probably 18-14 last year to now they are a 5-loss team, and they really have a chance, but they're significantly better. And I also think not having to play West Forsyth, North Forsyth, that is, and Alpharetta, that's been beneficial.
All right, let's go to Class 4A, Pace Academy on top.
Yes, so they lost an out-of-state game to Bob Jones. Bob Jones also beat North Cobb. I think they had another win over a ranked opponent, so that one didn't punish them. Marist, they are 24-3, and their only in-state loss was to Walton. They've won 18 straight now, so it was really tough. Do I put Marist above Pace Academy? I couldn't do it this week. I still think Pace is the team to beat. And then Kell, they're 22-9, but they've won 11 straight. And then Kell is going to play Norcross coming up. One of the last games of the season for both teams. And then Norcross actually has a big matchup against Buford right after that. So those are some key matchups. They aren't going to impact the region standings, but it will be fun to watch nonetheless. Midtown, a team that's hanging on at number 9. They were really good last year. I'm high on them. They just haven't been able to close out the third set. They're competitive in every match, but they haven't had the ability to make noise like they did last year. And I think Cartersville is also a very dangerous team, and then you can't count BT out.
And by the way, speaking of 4A, we do have the Pace play-by-play guy. He's sitting here watching the show, John, and I guess they got beat. He was telling me in my office earlier they got beat by Drew, correct? I think it was Drew. And he sort of made it into a Monday night game, which is interesting for high school football. So we want to thank him for coming by. He also helps us out a lot at the stadium. We do, of course, a lot of work at MBS. All right, let's go down to 3A.
And John's going to be calling the Creekside Pace Academy
that might
game
not
this
be a
week.
close game.
It'll be fun. All right, in Class 3A, so Jefferson, they're hanging on to number 1, but you see Oconee County there. They moved all the way up from 7 to 4. Oconee County beat Jefferson, but I believe they've split this year. Jefferson still has a better record, better resume. Richmond Academy at number 2, they have a pivotal matchup on Thursday. That's going to be against Class 2A number 1, Morgan County. Big-time matchup. And then Chesadee, huge win streak. They look like another team that can potentially take this. Sandy Creek, I had to drop them to number 10. They just have been struggling mightily this year. I still think they're in the top 10, but they are well below 500. I think they might have lost something like 8 of their last 10, so it has been a tough stretch for them. They're still fighting for a playoff spot.
All right, let's move quickly to the others. 2A, you got Morgan County up top, Greg.
Yes, 29-2. They've won 18 straight. I put them in as a favorite for sure. And then a new team that debuted this week is Sonoraville. They had a huge win over Ringgold, who was number 3. I dropped them out. Ringgold still has split with Sonoraville, so I gave them the benefit of the doubt. And then East Jackson, another team that moved up from number 10 to number 6 this week. They have been making a lot of noise, and they've gone up against the likes of Jefferson.
All right, and then we're going to quickly just go through the rest of them. 1A, Gordon Lee is on top. Armucci second, Elite Scholars Academy, Oglethorpe County. Fannin County moved down to A through 3A Private, Hebron Christian, and Mount Pisgah are on top of that. Yeah. One thing before we go to break, guys, I did want to bring up was the passing of Pete Rose.
Yep.
We talked about Takembe Mutombo passing yesterday. Pete Rose is gone. In fact, when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about Pete. I got a good story for you guys that I want to tell you. We're going to come back with Blessed Trinity flag football coach Brandon Harwell. Don't forget, tomorrow night, starting at 5:30, we have our first Corky Kell Dave Hunter Flag Classic. It is going to be great 4 games of flag football. Flag football is going to be on TV in the regular season for the first time. So we'll talk to the BT head coach when we get back on the Georgia High School Sports Daily.
I can. It's a little soft, but I can hear you now. Mm-hmm. Sounds great. Sure.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today. And by Smart Local 85. Sheet metal is a smart move.
All right, welcome back to Tuesday's edition of the Georgia High School Sports Daily. Excuse me. Craig Sager, Najee Wilkins in with me, South, the Score Atlanta studios. Pete Rose passed away yesterday, guys. I know you guys know that. He was 83. Of course, as a baseball writer, and I still have my Hall of Fame vote and everything, never got a chance to vote for Pete. Would have voted for Pete.
Good.
Because I believe he deserves to be in. A couple of things that are interesting. Good story. 1997, I'm on the beat. The Braves, Phil Niekro goes in the Hall of Fame. Phil Niekro, Tommy Lasorda are part of the class. So I go up there on a Thursday, and my editor, Tim Tucker, says to me, we need a good piece in addition to what you're going to do with Phil in the Hall of Fame class. So Pete was up there, and Pete was always up there in Cooperstown on Hall of Fame weekends. And he, was signing autographs. So I called his agent the day before. I got to spend the entire day with Pete Rose. Wrote a day in the life of Pete Rose. It was he was so fascinating. Real quickly before we get to the BT coach, think about this. He holds the Major League record for games played. That's 35-62. He made plate appearances 15,890 plate appearances. Think about that. I mean, that's amazing. He was a great player. And look, I know he did some things wrong, but there are a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that have done worse than him. Longest hitting streak, I was at that game too, that was 44. Gene Garber was the one that stopped his hitting streak at Fulton County Stadium. And it was interesting because after the game, Pete Rose was complaining about Garber working so hard to strike him out. Mm-hmm. Well, what do you expect? Every pitcher on the mound was trying to stop the break. Right. Stop the streak. Incredible player, guys, and somebody I hope that, gets into the Hall of Fame. All right, let's go to Blessed Trinity flag football coach Brandon Harwell. Coach, how you doing? We're excited to have you and 7 other teams tomorrow night in the first Corky Kell Dave Hunter Flag Classic. First of all, let's talk a little bit about how you got into flag coaching.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me in the showcase for the girls tomorrow. So I've been coaching for a long time. I enjoyed your story about Pete Rose. I've coached baseball for 24 years now. And then I coached boys football for 5 years here. And when I had daughter number 2, my wife, we had a great year in football, went all the way to December, and then baseball started right in January. So my wife told me I had to pick. So I went with baseball at the time to spend a little bit more time with my family. And when the opportunity came up to be a part of the program, I'm walking through the hallways, and Coach Turner and I had talked about flag football, and I told him that was something that I might be interested in doing. And he was like, "Congrats, you're the head coach." I was like, "Wait a second, I gotta talk with Amber, make sure this is okay." But she was, of course, good with it. And then what's been super exciting for me is we actually have we had a junior Titans team this year for a 6th and a 7th grade team and an 8th grade team, and both of my girls were able to play in that. So it was great for me to see a lot of the things that we're doing at the high school and see that with my own daughters.
Coach, were you on the staff for the 2017-2018 back-to-back state championships?
I was just before that.
You before that. Did you work with Tim McFarland?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I got to work with Tim, and learned a lot from him and from Bob Lord.
And you know what was neat on Sunday was watching JT Bertrand, who played at BT, of course, went on to Notre Dame, was a great player for BT, actually getting on the field and actually having a good game for the Atlanta Falcons. That's got to be cool for you. And I know you coach like football and baseball and stuff like that, but that's got to be cool for BT to see that.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, it's the Bertrand family is fantastic. I mean, John Michael, his older brother who pitched at Notre Dame, who's now pitching in the Giants organization. It was really special to me because I got to know both those guys so well in my role as a counselor too, because I was their guidance counselor here at school as well for their oldest brother, Christopher. And so on the date that JD actually got drafted, John Michael threw 7 perfect innings for the AA affiliate of the Giants. So it's been a special thing to just see that and see what a humble guy that JD is and the impact that he's had on our community. And I know that he'll continue to have as a member of the Falcons.
Yeah, and Coach, he was a tremendous player. And Najee, you'll be interested in that and this. He actually committed to Georgia before he actually changed his commitment and went to Notre Dame. Coach, what are we going to get a chance to, what are we going to see from your ladies tomorrow night?
Well, I hope we'll play well. I know we've got a tough test going up against a really talented Loganville team. I think that, we're young. We lost 10 seniors last year, a lot of really talented players. Starting with Julia Geis, Clark Hamilton, Morgan Hansel, but even on defense, Madison DeCamp had 40 sacks for us. So we're a little bit young, but we're very athletic. I like what we have. I like the growth that we've seen from our team. I think one of the challenges that we faced is we have so many multi-sport athletes, which is great. We haven't even had a practice yet this year where we've had our entire team together. So to me, it's very intellectually stimulating as a coach to try to keep everybody up to speed with girls coming and going. But I think that it's a tight-knit group. We had our jersey ceremony last night, and I think that it continues to bring us closer together. So I think that you'll see a lot of effort, a lot of speed. We've got a lot of speed that will be on both sides of the ball and on the field. And I also think you'll see a resilient group. And then, hopefully as the year progresses, we'll continue to grow. And, we've got a chance to be pretty special.
Coach, talk about one of your star players, Hannah Daly. She had 20 touchdowns last season. When I talked to you, brought up her name a lot, and they got some new players in too. But what makes her special?
So, I've coached a lot of great players in my time. 2 first-round draft picks in baseball, second-round draft pick in the NFL. Hannah just has a different work ethic. To give you an example, she was at a lacrosse showcase last year because she's committed to Naval Academy for lacrosse. She was at a lacrosse showcase last year at Clemson. We had practice later in the day. Her dad wanted to take her around after her showcase, and she was like, "Dad, I've got practice." And he was like, "Well, yeah, I know, but you can miss this one, or it'll be okay. I want you to get this experience." And she's like, "We don't miss practice, Dad." And she came back, and I think that she has that desire to be great. She always works. If she doesn't do a rep exactly right on her routes or on when she's playing linebacker, she wants to do it again and just constantly get better. And that's the kind of thing, like you were bringing up JD before, those are the kinds of things that JD did that made him successful. And I see a lot of those traits, and then also that leadership, because it takes a special person to be able to go and succeed at those highest levels, playing at a school like the Naval Academy. And Hannah's got the intangibles in spades.
All right, Coach, I'm going to throw one at you before I let you leave. We're talking to BT Flag, BT Flag football coach, head football coach, Brandon Harwell. 3 words describe your football coach, Ed Dudley, and how the heck the rest of the head coaches at BT put up with him every day.
I think that he's a leader. He's compassionate. And
good sense of humor. Good sense of humor, correct?
Oh, he's fantastic. But I think the thing that about Coach Dudley that most people don't realize is we have a virtue program that we do with all of our athletes across the school. And Coach Dudley actually spoke to all of our students, athletes, about those virtues and the characteristics and teammates. So he's a leader not only on the football field, but he's a leader within our school as well, and somebody as another coach, I can certainly ask questions to, and he's always there to support us. And he's hilarious, and he's got a story for everything.
He does. Well, Coach, we want to thank you and wish you the best of luck tomorrow night, okay? We look forward to seeing you and your team. Thanks again.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it, guys.
And don't forget, tomorrow night we'll start right here. The guy sitting next to me, Najee Wilkins, is going to be doing the games with Chris Millman from the Falcons. You are watching the Georgia High School Sports Daily.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back. We're going to do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
The Mechanical Trades Institute is an opportunity towards personal financial freedom through hands-on and rewarding work. Our school is completely free and gives apprentices the knowledge and skills required to gain access to a lifelong career path. Apprentices learn pipe fitting, plumbing, mechanical service, and welding. They earn money as they learn and graduate with no student debt. Start a career with the Mechanical Trades Institute and change your financial future.
All right, we're welcome. I was told to welcome everybody back to the Georgia High School Sports Daily here on the Peachtree Sports Network. Najee Wilkins, Craig Sager. Real quickly before we get to the Loganville flag coach, postseason starts today for baseball. Braves and Padres play tonight at 8:30. We're looking at 4 3-game series, Padres, Braves, Brewers, and Mets, and then, of course, in the AL, Orioles, Royals, Astros, Tigers. Those that get to pass the first round will be the Guardians, of course, and the Yankees, and then the National League, the Dodgers get a bye, as well as the Phillies. Craig, who do you think? What do you think?
I want to go Royals, Braves, but probably Yankees, Braves.
Yankees, Braves. How about you, Nod?
I'm going Yankees and Phillies, but I think the Braves make a surprise run to NLCS.
I do too. I think on the National League side, the Braves win. They beat the Padres, they beat the Dodgers, then they lose to the Phillies.
Yes.
On the other side, I don't care what anybody says, as long as the Houston Astros are in the playoffs, it doesn't matter what they're seeded or whatever, you've got to watch them. They are so flipping good in October. But I'm going with the Yankees, and I think the Yankees will win it all. All right, let's go to Loganville flag football coach Brand Mill. Coach, how you doing? Looking forward to having you tomorrow night. We just got off the phone with Brandon Harwell, who said he's going to whip your butt. But no, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. He's actually in a tie and very nice. But tell us a little bit about your team and what we can expect tomorrow night.
Well, really looking forward to it. Appreciate you having me on here.
Sure.
And I'm sure Brandon did say that. I don't doubt that one bit. He's got a good team over there, and we're really looking forward to getting to see where we are after this ball game. We'll definitely know where we are. They have some really good athletes over there, and I think we're going to be very competitive. We're pretty deep at receiver position. However, we're going to be down a couple. We got a couple receivers that won't be there with us because rescheduling of softball games, and then we also had a volleyball game that actually got rescheduled, and so we have a couple volleyball players and definitely some softball players as well. But we still have 6 girls that we feel good that we can throw the ball to, and we have a new quarterback this year, Parker Bridges, who was she was a main target for us last season. She was the best player on the field, typically most nights that we were out there. But we moved her to quarterback this year, and so kind of getting going there. But we feel like we got some people to throw it to, and so we feel like we'll be in good shape there.
We're talking to Loganville head flag coach Brand Mill. Coach, tell us, how is it working out for all the flag coaches with softball and volleyball? Because in my opinion, in a couple years, that's going to flip, and flag football is going to be the priority for a lot of these girls. But how do you deal with it? Because I know that's not easy.
No, it's not. And I'll tell you, we've done it different ways here at Loganville. We've done it to where, they do one at a time, and they can't start another one until that one's over with. So in those situations in years past, like with softball, we just had to wait on them until the softball season was over with, and then they'd come out. And it was kind of tough for those girls because they don't get much time unless you make a deep run in the playoffs. But and then in saying that was the same with volleyball. But on the flip side of that, we got a couple basketball players, and they didn't go to basketball until then. We're doing it different this year. The administration's kind of changed some rules there. Softball would take priority, but if we have a game and they have practice, they could come play in the game. So it definitely makes it hard to share. But if they've played, they're not new to the game. They played last year, the year before that. It allows, they kind of know, as long as you're not changing too much, they know kind of what to expect. And then they catch up, get in games shape pretty quick because they haven't been sitting around doing nothing. But I do agree with you. I think this sport is growing. I think it's taken off. I think it's exciting. The girls like it. As long as we don't mess it up, I agree with you. I think it'll start taking some priority.
Hey, Coach Mills, I want to ask you a little bit about the gauntlet of a schedule you play in the playoffs. I got a chance to talk to you, and you talked about like 3 or 4 one-score games. So how do you feel like that's prepared you going into this season, playing such a difficult schedule and kind of going through that adversity in the playoffs? How that shaped your team going into this year?
Well, definitely. If you want to be good, I truly believe that you got to play a tough schedule. Obviously, you can't control your area schedule, and sometimes you have a really hard area schedule. But I just kind of look at it. I want to play the best competition I can to get ready for that area schedule, and then also prepares you for the playoffs. And that's one of the things I'm excited about this. Get to play BT. And then next week, we're going to bounce back next week, play 2 other teams from the Corky Kell over at North Oconee and West Forsyth. So we're, the challenge, the tough games, sometimes even if you lose them, it's hard. It's tough to swallow, but you get better from those games, which is, you get pushed, you get challenged, you learn new things, you see where your weaknesses are. So I think as a coaching staff, we get better from those games. And then obviously the girls get better when they're challenged a little bit too. So, I definitely think that prepares us for sure.
And then, Coach, this is the first time you're going to have a new quarterback, Parker Bridges. You pointed out her arm strength. So talk about that a little bit and what she's being able to bring to the table just with spreading the ball out and being able to hit that deep ball.
Yeah, she can stretch the field vertically with her arm strength. But I think another thing, just like, any level of football, she could get that throw to the sideline. So you got to defend that. But she can, obviously make the throw to the middle of the field. So I think that puts more stress on the defenses. You gotta be able to cover those different areas and spread you out a little more. As long as she's good with her feet, she doesn't get lazy with her feet. Like you hear everybody say, bad throw, footwork's bad. When she's not lazy with her feet, she's really accurate. Ball gets there quick. We're having to adjust to that, and a lot of times, be ready and ball's on you. And so that's a little bit different for the girls. But, if she sets her feet and she's got good footwork, then she's been throwing the ball really well, and excited to see what she can do against a high-level team like Blessed Trinity. She does run well, too. She's taller. She's an athlete, and I think people will, though, they'll sit back. They may not really respect her foot speed, but she can run as well.
Well, Coach, we want to thank you for coming on. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Haven't met you before, but we'll be there for you. And, of course, make sure everybody realizes that the game's on TV, Peachtree Sports Network, a lot of ways to pick it up. I know you've got the information, but we look forward to seeing you and your team tomorrow night at West Forsyth.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you. All right, when we get back, Lithia Springs flag football is really good. We'll have her coach on. We'll also talk about a few other things. But you're watching Peachtree Sports Network. All right, IJ Rosenberg, Georgia High School Sports Daily here on the Peachtree Sports Network. I'm with Craig Sager and Najee Wilkins. Najee will be the play-by-play caller tomorrow night. We expect a lot. 4 games at West Forsyth right here on the Peachtree Sports Network. Also going to be able to pick it up on the National Federation High School Network as well as the Atlanta News First app, which is a great way to watch it, and also on Zeem if you want to watch it at home, CBS's streaming portal. That's ZEAM. Before we get to the Lithia Springs flag, Coach, What's wrong with Trevor Lawrence? I mean, I know Jacksonville isn't very good, and of course Trevor was a great player at Cartersville. Ended up winning a state championship as a junior. Lost it. BT beat him, I think, as a senior. Correct? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. BT beat him in the playoffs
right.
as a senior. But everybody expected him to walk into the NFL and just take over, and it just right now. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen.
Right.
And I'm not saying that he's in a team that is really good. But at the same time, I think we all expected a little bit more from him.
I think you got to build a team around him. And when I say that, a better offensive line, a true number one receiver. When we go back to Clemson, he had T. Higgins. He always had a true dominant number one receiver, and he needs a running game. Yeah, running game as well. I feel like if they surround him with that and the offensive talent that he needs, I think you'll see him get back on track.
Craig, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's had a lot of turnovers. It's definitely has not lived up to the standards. I don't know, maybe they need to hire Joey King as their new head coach.
Yeah, Joey. Yeah. Well, anyway, I just, it's going to be interesting to see how he moves along. I mean, we talked about JT Bertrand from BT playing for the Falcons the other day and having a good game. It's kind of fun to see the Alvin Kamara. He's unbelievable. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, is he incredible?
When I saw him,
I mean, he was banged up. His chest was banged up. I think he had a hip flexor.
It's questionable going in.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for him, though. I thought going to Alabama, I'm not hating on Alabama. I didn't think it was
Sure,
right
you're hating
fit
on
for,
that.
No,
You know you're hating on Alabama.
No,
What do you mean you're not
Respect
hating
to
on
the
Alabama?
time. But no, I just thought he was such a unique player. The way he caught that game winner for Norcross in the championship, it's like that's more than a running back. That guy is special. He can do it all. So I'm excited to see him really having a tremendous
You want to hate on Craig a little bit? Tell him let's talk about what you just said about the Chiefs in the break.
Yeah, I mean, she writes this out.
Yeah, we aren't going to talk about that.
All right, let's get back to it. We got Lithia Springs flag football coach Kendra Pleasance. Kendra, how you doing? We got you? So talk to us a little bit about the team you're going to be bringing over. We've got a chance to see you this summer. Very impressed with the way you coach and your ladies. But tell us what you'll be bringing over to BT tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, I'll be bringing, 6 seniors, 2 of our seniors, 2 of our juniors that we have. It's their first year. They're participating. They're 2 of the girls from our state track team. So hopefully our speed be consistent from what it have been in the past. I have 6 returning seniors. 4 of them which started last year. So I think we'll definitely be able to be consistent, similar to what we were in the previous year. So we're excited, and we're looking forward to coming out tomorrow.
Coach, tell us your background and sort of how you got into flag football.
Honestly, I was the basketball coach here at Lithia Springs High School. My athletic director at the time, Corey Jarvis, introduced to our school that we would be having flag football. So I knew it was a new sport. I played like the adult league, and I had fun enjoying playing myself. So I just knew that the high school students would enjoy the opportunity. So I just pretty much just harped on it, and we had a lot of interest early on, and it just pretty much just went from there.
Coach, talk about the speed. You mentioned some of your players on the track team, but I got a chance to talk to you last week, and you got a girl on the 4x4 team, 4x1 team. I think 2 girls actually on the 4x1 team. How fast is this team, and how special can they be in the open field?
Well, I would say, at first I'm gonna say this, they're new to the sport, right? They have a lot of speed, but right now we're just trying to get them to control their speed and know how to play it in a game of football. But it's fast. You guys going to get a glimpse of it tomorrow. One of the track girls, she's actually not going to be playing, but 2 out of 3 will. So like I mentioned before, you'll definitely get a chance to see how the speed is consistent from what we previously had.
And then real quick, Coach, talk about some of the adjustments you had to make this year. I know obviously the personnel changes. You got new players playing in new roles and new positions. What's that been like from you from a coaching perspective?
From a coaching perspective, it looked totally different. Our offense looked different. We lost our quarterback. She was with us for 3 years, the entire duration of the program. She at the University of Campbellsville University right now, Rashaya Manning. So she left. So getting a new quarterback, it had been a struggle. So some of our athletes just been voluntold to be in that position. So this year, you would definitely see a lot of run game option. So I just had to make adjustment off of our personnel that we had this year, and still trying to stay true to, you know, what we do well. So it'll definitely be a different look, but it'll just be interesting to see, honestly.
Well, Coach, we're really looking forward to having you. We appreciate you participating and bringing your ladies over to West Forsyth, and I look forward to saying hello and putting you on TV tomorrow night.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Coach. That was Kendra Pleasance from Lithia Springs, one of the top flag coaches in the state. What do we got, about a minute left? 20 seconds. 20 seconds? How can we get on Craig in 20 seconds? No. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget about tomorrow night. We got a great lineup of flag games. You're watching the Georgia High School Sports Daily on the Peachtree Sports Network.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off. Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
Basic combat training is a 10-week experience that will challenge you both physically and mentally. Each phase of your training will introduce you to new soldier skills, building and advancing them along the way. You and your fellow soldiers will work as a team to accomplish each mission, overcome each obstacle, and earn the right to wear the black beret of an Army National Guard soldier.